Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here at the Cannes Film Festival. It's time to review The Worst Person in the World, directed by Joachim Trier. This is the fifth film by the director, and the only one I've seen from him is Oslo, August 13th, which was considered his best film. But the title of the director's best film may very well change here with his new film, which follows a woman in her late 20s to her early 30s as she navigates career decisions and mainly relationships. And so far, I may have made the movie sound like your typical 20s, 30s, free-spirited girl plot, but I can promise you that this movie really does have an energy of its own. It's told in 12 different chapters with the addition of an intro and an epilogue. And right in the beginning, it just launches you into this fast, entertaining montage with some snappy narration, and the movie never lets up for its full 2-hour runtime. I could have lived in this movie even longer. It's such an energetic, exciting, creative, and soul-stirring movie. And what makes the movie so great is that it has such a compelling protagonist. I'm not really sure why the movie's called The Worst Person in the World, because this protagonist, Julie, is really easy to sympathize with, and it's very easy to forgive her flaws because of how good the writing is and how good her performance is. And I felt that she was a really relatable protagonist. I think a lot of people are going to feel that way, maybe especially because I'm sort of in the same stage of life as she is, where options to sort of commit or settle down in different aspects of your life are presented in front of you, but she's someone who wants to follow what is exciting and what is new and is afraid of making a decision that locks her down. Whether this is the college majors that we're told she switches 3 different times, or the 2 main relationships that she navigates throughout this movie, each of which represents a little bit of a different side of commitment or excitement. And this is not the kind of story where we're rooting for her to go towards any particular outcome. The movie does not make it obvious which one is the right choice for her, and we're just like, oh, you idiot, right here, it's right in front of you. You need to learn this thing so that you can go this way. The entire movie, I had no idea what this protagonist was going to do, and I felt just as conflicted about where she should go in her life as she was. All I really wanted for her was her happiness. And I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but the actress who plays her, Renate Reinsva, eats up the screen. And this is her first starring role. She barely has any credits on IMDb. She doesn't even have a picture on IMDb. But she should be a total star as far as I'm concerned. We're with her emotionally through every single step of the way. The character's vibrant soul is just piercing the entire movie. The other standout here is Anders Danielsen Lee, who starred in the director's first 2 films, including Oslo, and he was very good in those. It's easy to see why the director keeps going back to this actor. He just totally breaks your heart at a couple different points in this movie. It's possible that these 2 lead performances could remain as some of my favorite of the entire year. And Herbert Nordum is really good as well as her other love interest. The dynamic in each relationship that Julie is in the film feels really real. The conversations these actors have are so relatable and authentic. The dialogue is so energetic. It has a way of presenting the flaws and shortcomings of these characters in a lovable way. It's very unjudgmental of them. It's a really, really well-written movie. And there's one scene about 60% of the way in where she has a really difficult conversation with the Anders Danielsen Lee character, and this scene fucking crushed me a little bit. It just felt like Joachim Trier must have been writing from such a personal place, and the movie ended up relating to something in my life, kind of hard. Another showstopper of a scene here is one where time ends up kind of stopping for a moment, and I'm not going to say any more than that. I don't want to spoil that moment, but it was really beautiful. It's a really creative drama. There are a lot of sequences that are actually kind of fantastical and daring and break the mold of what we expect from just a romantic drama. The movie has a little bit of an epic feel to it. If the movie ended on a sequence that was as powerful as one of the ones that I just mentioned, it would easily be a 10 out of 10 movie, but just the last 10 minutes and where it ends up resolving, I'm not sure how I feel about them. Maybe this is a case like with Waves, where I didn't feel like it ended on as strong of a note, but then going back and rewatching it, I did think that everything made sense. I would love to rewatch this movie again and to discover if maybe the ending does make sense to me in a new way. But I just didn't know if it really ended on a bang or felt like it resolved. And it was a little disappointing because I'm so invested in this character and where she ends up going and what kind of decisions she ends up making. But I could see maybe this growing on me a little bit in the future. I would highly encourage everybody to check out this movie. It's very entertaining. It's very easy to recommend. I predict it's going to be the kind of movie that has a very good IMDb score. I hope it gets submitted for international feature because I feel like that would end up being a shoo-in for a nomination. It is a very entertaining kind of crowd-pleasing movie in a way. And so I wonder just a little bit if maybe we could ever be so lucky to see this movie get like a screenplay nomination or something. I wouldn't bet on it, but I'm just putting it out there. I think it should happen. I would even be happy to see the lead actors get some nominations as well. But I am loving this movie. It maybe has a little bit of a misstep at the end for me. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. It's the best movie I've seen out of the festival so far, and I could see it even being like a top 10 movie of the year for me potentially. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Are you the worst person in the world?